Every office has a mission statement, a code of ethics, and probably a chain of command. In the offices we're about to show you this week, these are people who've turned their spaces and broken every rule in the office book to give you something ideal. My name is Tim Jiru. This is the show that delivers magical elements in the spaces we live, work and play in. You're watching the Ideal Space TV show, Karibu. Gone are the days when offices could run from a cookie-cut work environment, the same days when company bosses would lock themselves in their four walls and the rest of the company in spaces less than that. If anything, there has been an enormous shift in the generation of working culture, churning out productivity in the world today. Companies are increasingly adopting an open office environment driven by the need for a free working culture preferred by the young generation of workers. Something that we wanted to dig deeper from the man who decided to throw everything to the wind and challenge the status quo in matters regarding the work environment. This week's episode of The Ideal Space spent an afternoon learning how concepts are slowly moving away from conservative to the fantasy. Here we are, One Africa Media, the office that's going to be the ideal working office space. Here's one of the things that attracted us to this feature. You wouldn't find this in any other office space with punctured tires, but there's quite a lot that they've put in place, including bits and pieces. Carrie, it's really nice to have you in these amazing offices of yours. I was on the other side just checking out the furniture. But just to put everything into perspective, who are you?
The company or the office? A bit of both. So the company we started, different companies started at different times, but as One Africa Media, we brought all these companies together in the last couple of years. Cheki.co.ke was founded in 2010, Brighter Monday 2006, Byron Kenya 2011, and Stay Now, the Kenyan version of Stay Now has been here for about a year now. We're just about starting officially, but it's been a year in operation.
So how did this come about?
Well, the internet is about 3 or 4 years old in Kenya. And if you think about the categories of looking for a job, buying a car, buying a house, or finding a place to stay, or traveling, those are very, very important decisions that Kenyans make. And they need a lot of trust in those decisions. They're big life decisions. And the way that people were doing those decisions before was very inefficient. If you imagine what buying a car was like in the year 2000, or looking for a job in the year 2005, or buying a house, or booking a travel experience, they were very labor-intensive, expensive, risky decisions where it was very hard to get access to all the information about those marketplaces and everything else. So the internet has enabled the disruption of those categories, and so now you can find all the jobs in one place, all the cars in one place, all the properties in one place, all the weekend and hotel establishments in Kenya all in one place. And so everybody can access all of that information under different brands on their mobile device or on their computer 24 hours a day. And from the seller's point of view, imagine what it was like finding great talent or selling a car. You had very limited options to distribute that information to everybody in Kenya instantly. And so now that opportunity is there. And so those disrupt the entire marketplace for jobs, cars, travel and real estate. And so that's the rationale for getting into this business in the first place.
office, situated along 14 Riverside Drive, is one that has intentionally mixed business with pleasure in just how they have put everything in the workspace.
Well, the company's grown very, very fast. We're now about 8 brands in 8 countries, serving 400 million people. We have 650 staff. We raised the biggest amount of investment capital of any internet company in Africa in history. And so the speed of the adoption of these products and services is enormous. And so using traditional management techniques and traditional working culture here is just not enough to scale a business of this size that fast. And so we've incorporated a lot of the elements of our strategic direction into the design of the workplace in order to enable the growth of the company.
How have you made this place the ideal for the people who are working and visiting here?
We worked with a very good design company called Vianella Modular Design, and we said to them, the things that are important to us are investing in local Kenyan art and culture and local Kenyan materials. But what we're trying to achieve is an environment where people really want to come to work, where we can get great talent, but they work collaboratively, there's no hierarchy, it's a very open, everything's open, the brand is very much represented there, and we fundamentally challenge the idea of what normal is in the workplace to enable people to work in an environment where they can do a great job, be innovative, be creative, collaborate, and scale this company at a speed which you normally wouldn't be able to do with traditional office architecture or office furniture or office design.
At One Africa Media, everything runs on a flat hierarchy in as far as design is concerned, meaning there is no boss, or you could sit in any space provided the job has been done.
Many Kenyan offices are based around this idea that everyone has a physical space. So this is my desk, that's your desk. For me to access the CEO's office, I need to make an appointment. And so there's this hierarchy and bureaucracy that gets in the way of communication, teamwork, rapid decision making. And also I think the traditional workspace lends towards people accepting things as normal. And so we've put in a whole bunch of elements here that really challenge what normal is, and that enables people to be more creative and not fear being creative or to challenge the status quo.
Quite the ideal, you might say. The designs here foster a lot of open collaboration, rapid innovation, which means there is a lot being done faster with less, thus attracting smart people and giving them a work-life balance. They've even incorporated several games within the office, such as table tennis, in case you want to get off work for a few minutes.
So there's lots of examples. So if you think about openness, there's no walls. The walls that we have, because there's certainly some aspects of HR that need confidentiality and stuff like that. So I think there's 3 walls in this whole office which are made of glass. Everybody can see in the CEO's office, no problem, and so it's very visible. Vianella Modular Design said something which is very important, and I learned this, which is about the feeling you walk into. And so when you walk into this office, there's a very nice feeling of light. It's very accessible in the sense that as a visitor or as an employee, you don't feel challenged or confused. Everything is accessible. So it's actually a very nice welcoming feeling. We have a lovely set of elements where people can do other activities that are not necessarily work related. So you'll have noticed this morning there's in the space that we have, there's kitchens, but the kitchens are open and they're in the workspace. So people eat together and they communicate, they have tea together, they can play games together. And so a table tennis table is also a meeting space. And so what you'll find is that builds very strong relationships, personal relationships between all of the employees, no matter the hierarchy. And that enables rapid decision making and that culture of innovation, ideas, communication. And so those are ways we built that in by building almost a house style thing. There's a living room, there's a kitchen, you can play PlayStation. These are things that you'd normally consider in a residential space, but actually we brought those elements into the workspace.
Have you fired anyone in this company, seeing that it's so ideal?
I don't think we've ever fired anyone for non-performance. I can't remember, maybe we have, but I can't remember having done so. Where we have let people go is where they couldn't handle the working environment, in the sense that they were waiting for people to give them instructions, and they just couldn't self-empower enough, or they couldn't transform it. So it is a new workspace in the sense that I think people take a lot of power in being able to achieve the goals of the company by themselves. You notice we don't have clocks on the walls. We don't really care what time people come and what time people go. As long as they do as long as they achieve something for the company, frankly, I don't really care if they're in the office or not. They can be at house, as long as the company is going in the direction. I don't have time to manage people to look at clocks. It doesn't make sense. And so for that, we don't even have a sick leave policy. If you're sick, go and get better. Don't bring your sickness to work. If you're not sick, come to work. But it's too expensive for us. We don't have the time. We're growing so fast. We don't have the time to pay somebody to actually fill out forms to say I'm sick. Just make a call. We know you're sick. Fine, get better, no problem.
I'd like to see the details within and around these offices. I'm mesmerized. Would you like to show us, please?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Let's go and have a walk around. I'm going to start with this though.
Tell me about that.
So this we found in a market near Ngong Road. It's a Mercedes chair, which obviously comes from the automotive origins of Czechia. But it's
like a Mercedes seat.
It's very comfortable.
Very comfortable.
But it's been reimagined by a local artist as a chair. This piece over here is also mechanical, representing the origins. It's from a local artist called Toombs. It's a mechanical chicken. The desk is also totally local, built here from another local artist. The chairs, recycled chairs. This is made of goat and wood. And you can see even the coffee table or the meeting table is actually a pallet, but it runs around on wheels, also reimagining the automotive heritage of Czechia. So we've used all local materials, cars, and you'll get that theme through the office as we walk through it.
People are getting ideas already.
Yeah. So this main space is the Czechia car space, and so you'll notice a lot of automotive themes from the tables. We've got local art here, which this is made out of a motorcycle. So this is a vintage motorcycle, and that's the fairing of the old motorcycle as you used to ride it like that.
It looks like a very, very big bike.
It does, doesn't it? But it's not the petrol tank, it's the protective fairing around it, but they've reimagined it as a car. And you'll even see automotive art on the walls, also from local artists as well.
Fantastic. Was that intentional?
Yeah.
Was that accidental?
No, it was deliberate. So we've got the culture of openness, and so we expose all the workings of the electrical components, the communication components, and the roof, for simplicity and reimagining what a roof is, keeping it simple.
What was the brief? What brief did you give the designer for this office?
So Vianello Modular Design did all the office, and we gave them the cultural elements that were important to us. Obviously our brand, which is why there's automotive components in the detailing, but teamwork, collaboration, openness, and innovation, challenging what normal is. And so you'll see it's a very open office. You'll see the new normal for a motorbike or for a pallet or for some aeroplanes, which we'll see downstairs. And then a very, very open culture where everyone interacts in the same physical space.
So Czechia is all about wheels and engines.
Correct.
Great. Where else do you want to take us?
Let's go and look at some of the stuff downstairs in Brighter Monday's office.
Super duper.
Hi guys, sorry. I'll be back. Welcome. How's your drive? This is Charles. He's the manager of Czechia in Uganda.
Good. And he works in shorts like you'd say.
I told you.
Nobody, look at their employees, Mr. Cameraman.
Had to be comfortable for that.
Ooh.
But we don't care. Shorts are good. It's warm today.
Works very well.
I'll be back in a bit.
Good. Yeah. Many thanks.
How you guys? There's a queue.
Oh, good.
You're on TV.
I'm on TV.
Yes.
Hi, babe. Hi, Mom.
Come on in, let's go.
We're going to one.
Yeah. So how long have you been in existence?
Well, One Africa Media was founded in 2013, but some of our brands have been around since 2006 and stay now. When did you start?
We started in 1999. So we originally were Safari Now, we're now Stay Now.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Cool.
Great. So this is where it started.
This is where this was Brighter Monday's second office.
Oh.
This
one.
This is art. So you'll see some names. This is rebuilt newspapers. So you'll see some famous politicians' name.
Yeah, that one.
And that one. We've got a little bit balanced, and that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And this is the state of the nation.
An interesting theme right there.
Yeah. Well, we actually knew. Hang on, does that work? Sorry.
Good.
Yeah. So you'll see newspapers here a lot, or reimagined newspapers. And the reason for that is you used to look for jobs in the newspaper, or you used to look for cars in the newspaper. And so our companies are reimagined newspapers. You'll see in this particular space, there's a lot of reimagined aircraft and aeroplanes, and that partly represents the Brighter Monday, the career aspirations and taking off and flying, and it also represents the Stay Now brand for traveling. So we've taken African elements of African art, and you'll see masks, but you'll see small amounts. This is an aeroplane ashtray, and this is part of some steering gear from an aeroplane.
Yes.
And so you'll see a lot of aeroplane iconography in the design in this particular space down on level 1.
Stay tuned, the Idle Space will be right back after the break.